Okay. So, do I need to introduce myself? Yes. So my name is Bukola Ajayi. I live in Atlanta. A little bit of background about myself. I relocated here in 2019. I came for my MBA because I wanted to become a business analyst. So, schooled in Lowell, transferred to Atlanta. And then yeah, I've been here since then. So basically, my background in Nigeria is banking. I was a marketer for I think about 12, 13 years. I can't even remember. I know I started quite early. So yeah, that's pretty much my background. And I started working as a BA. Sorry, let me take that back. So while I was in school, I got to intern with a company in Atlanta. The company is called Primerica. I interned as a data analyst because I knew I wanted two things. I wanted to focus on, still being a business analyst and at the same time having to be able to also explore being a data analyst. So right there, I got a little bit of training on how to use Power BI, the databases, and learned a little bit of SQL while I was there. It was just a 6 weeks internship, and that helped me a lot because, it helps my resume. So when I eventually graduated, if I'm going to put anything out there, there's somebody who asks you, have you worked somewhere before in the US? Yes. So that helped me a lot. So like Pastor said earlier, I would start by saying that when you are here, or maybe if you plan to come here, if you're in Nigeria or Europe or wherever you are, and you have a dream, let's say you feel like, okay, this is what I really want to do. I really want to become a BA. I really want to become a data analyst. You get to see a lot of people tell you different things. Somebody can wake up today and tell you, and there is one training, you want to become epic, come and do it. And like you said, you have to focus because that was what helped me. Because I remember when I came in, my cousin insisted that, oh, nothing, do nothing so that you can make money. I'm sure what I make now, she doesn't make it, or maybe she makes a little bit above me, but yeah, maybe we are par. But I told her, no, I'm not going to do nothing. This is really what I want to do, and I'm going to focus. So I made sure that I put all my efforts. I started doing self-learning. I did a lot of, online courses. I go on YouTube, I watch videos, I just do a little bit of here and there, but I was focused because I knew what I wanted. So my first advice would be that if you really want to do maybe like a software developer, like Timileyin said earlier, or I can't remember what you call it, make sure you focus on that and keep building your skill. And if you want to become a BA, focus on it and keep building your skills, no matter what anybody tells you. Because if you keep jumping from this one to that one, because somebody told you, oh, this one is 10 figures, this one is 8 figures, you'll not know anything. So that's pretty much it. I'm just going to share a little bit of background. I don't have much on my slide, just a little bit of information on what a BA does and what a data analyst does. Let me quickly share my screen. Okay, so can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Sorry, I can't even read the comment right now.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. So this is just like a background information on what um we do as a business and a data analyst. So another thing I want to say is when you talk about business analyst, you can have both. And it's even good you have both, like you're a business, because there are some roles that will tell you, oh, we want a business data analyst, somebody that understands what a business analyst does and can also, get your hands dirty with data. So nowadays, I always tell people that it's better you have both. Don't focus on, oh, I just want to be a business analyst. It's good when you have that knowledge because like just a few weeks ago, I remember talking to a recruiter, and the recruiter was like, "Oh, we know you're a GRC business analyst, but can you, do you have like a little bit of knowledge in data analysis?" And I said, yes, because I am able to, do that. So, yes. So I would say that you can do both. There's nothing stopping you from understanding what a data analyst does and what a business analyst does. So this is going to be like an 8-week career training journey. And another thing I want to say, lest I forget, is that, like Pastor said earlier, don't think that, once I am done with training, I'm going to get a job like that. It doesn't happen like that. So while you're in training, you have to keep, training yourself to, like, you finish, maybe like when we have a training for a particular weekend, when you leave, don't just dump it and say, oh, I'm going to meet them next week. No, just go online, check any resources you can find your hands on, keep doing it, even if it's Upwork. If you can sign on Upwork and start getting all the small gigs, it will help you. So this is going to be like an 8-week career training journey. Like I said, my name is Bukola. It's going to be an interactive section. And so the goal will be to introduce, for today, the goal is to introduce, the roles of data analyst and business analyst and share some training objectives and all that. So I'm just going to move to the next slide. So what is data analysis? Data analysis is just collecting and cleaning and analyzing data to support decisions. So I'll give you an instance. So data, when we say data, everybody like, oh, data, what does it mean? Data is just simple, like your information. For instance, let me take for an example, I want to log into like an application, let's say Chick-fil-A app, I want to order food or something, I already have my sign on, I go in there, I sign in, I put in my username, I put in my password, I already created my profile. All those little things, they're what we call, put together is what we call, that's your data, your name, your date of birth, your, email address, your anything that has to do with that profile. That is what we call data. Like just a simple explanation, that's what I'm talking about, And then, so what do you use data to do? For instance, one of the companies I work with is an insurance company. So what do we do with the data we get from there? So we get data from different people. We get data from banks. We get data from, different external sources. Once they send that data to us, what do? We extract, we transform, and we load. So those data, sometimes we get information of, oh, these are the people that has this kind of, funds somewhere, so that our marketers can go ahead and, and sell products to them. So basically, that's what we do with data in the insurance company I work with. And I also am a data analyst there, So sometimes we just get, though I'm not a data engineer, but basically what I do is sometimes we have some data, some bad data, and we have, customers signing in and saying, oh, I can't access my funds. My funds is not showing, like Timilay was showing us, they are the back end. We don't do back end, but we see then we are like, okay, so what is happening? So we go into our database to check, okay, how did we capture this customer's data? And sometimes we realize that, oh, we are missing something. It could be that we're missing maybe like the social security number, or maybe the social security number is not correct, So there is something we call a tool called SQL. You can just put in a query so that you can see what that customer has, in the data. So that's basically so, and also that data analysis also helps the businesses. For instance, if I'm going to link that to like being a business analyst, a customer says, oh, my sales is low. Why is your sales low? They can't tell. Or they're like, oh, we're doing a lot of things, we're doing promotions, we're doing this, we're doing that, but we are not getting the sales. So what would a data analyst do? You get all the data, for that particular, maybe like it's a product, get all the data about that product, you analyze it, you can, use like, we use tools such as Power BI, there's Tableau, there's Power BI, so that you can analyze and see, okay, what's the trend? So it's just called like a trend analysis. You can see that maybe in the month of May, the sales reduced. Why did it reduce? Oh, we lost this so amount of customers. Why did we lose this customer? Which location, which region? It helps you just to drill down to the issues, that you have as a business. So that's why at the initial stage, I said, both data and business and they work hand in hand, so that, at the end of the day, what's the focus of being a business analyst? The main focus is so that, any business that has any issues, or maybe there are things that you need to improve on, you as a data analyst or a business analyst can say, okay, I've been able to identify a business gap, and this is what we need to do. So that is where a business analyst comes in. Like, okay, there's a business gap, we're losing money. How do we make sure we don't lose money again? Then we come back and say, oh, we need to improve this particular thing. We need to go ahead and do this particular strategy. So that's basically, that's why I said both a data analyst and business analyst are like interwoven. Like I said, an example of what I said earlier, analyzing customer feedback. So I'm going to go on to the next slide. So as a data analyst, like I said, your focus will be on maybe like trends. It depends on the company. Some company probably just wants more from you as a data analyst, but most companies as a data analyst, they want to check trends. Like every company wants to grow, they want to have more profit, they want to know where the issue. That's like the word data you're analyzing what the issue is, because as a company, there will always be things that may not go well as planned. So you don't want to just sit on the fence and assume that, oh, it is because something is not working well. You really want to know why that thing is not working well. So the roles of a data analyst, you analyze trends and then you report. You might have a manager, maybe it's the company, financial advisor or something. Then you report your findings to the stakeholders that, okay, for the month of March, I have analyzed this data. I have checked, this is what I found. This is a trend. We have growth in this location. We have, downward trend in this location and all that. And then sometimes as a data analyst, you might even go ahead and write maybe your suggestions and all that when you are trying to present your analysis to the stakeholders. And for both data analysis and business are the tools for like a data analyst, you have to, be flexible a little bit. It depends on what you like. For somebody like me, I remember when I started, I used to, as a data analyst, I used to like Python a lot because it was very easy to use. And then when I started using SQL, it was pretty much easy. There's dbeaver, there's SQL, there's Python, we have a whole lot of tools. So I would say that find your niche. Maybe you could try 2 or 3 tools when you're starting, but at the end of the day, whichever one you're comfortable with, make sure you build on it. Because as a data analyst, sometimes I used to tell, Titi is my friend, and I used to tell her that I've been running this query for days and I've been running into issues and all that. But the more you do it, the more you actually understand some little nuances. So get yourself acquainted with, the one that is very much comfortable with you, and then, build your skills, be the best in that. So because you cannot be like a jack of all trades. And so if somebody calls you and say, oh yes, I can use SQL, oh yes, I know how to use Python, and then you're struggling to even, understand how to use both. So I would say focus on maybe at the initial start, try maybe more than one. Then if you feel like, okay, this is really what I really like, build your skills more around that too. So we have Tableau. Tableau is basically for visuals, like you're trying to build trends, KPIs, and all that. That's Tableau. There's Power BI. Sorry, Power BI is missing on this slide, but Power BI is also used for visuals. Python is used.
Can you
Somebody.
can you put your screen on full screen mode?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking. Sorry. So the problem is I have 2 screens. So I think I was looking at.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
sorry.
Okay. Because some of
Uh,
them are they are not seeing it. Like,
oh, I'm so sorry. Let me see. I need to remove
and
this.
I think they also said it's static.
It's static.
Yeah,
Really?
it's been on
Okay,
the same one page.
let me stop sharing and reshare. I'm so sorry. No.
That's
I'm really very sorry about that. I wasn't even looking at my screen. I was just talking. Let me reshare and see if I can. Okay. So I think this is a screen. I'm so sorry. I was looking at my screen too. So can you see the full screen
yes.
now?
This is
Okay. So that was what
Okay.
I've been seeing. I wasn't even seeing because I have a laptop and I have a monitor in front of me. So I was looking at the monitor. I'm so sorry. Let me see if it's um, 1 second. Okay. So where were we? So I was talking about tools for data analysis and business analysis. So as a business analyst, the tools that we use, the same thing, but also have to be able to, understand the use of Jira because we use Jira a lot as a business analyst. That's where, when developers, build or configure anything, we put all those issues there. We go in there to see if there's any defect. We go in there to see if there's anything like it's like you're writing notes to yourself. So instead of sending mails back and forth, that's what we use Jira for. And the same thing as Confluence. Confluence is just where you store information to, and all that. Visio is more like you will use Visio for like if you have maybe like a data mapping for a data analyst, you use it for data mapping, business model mapping and all that. I would maybe when we go through the sections, would try a hands-on Visio and all that so that I can actually show what it looks like. So like I said earlier, for a data analyst, you're basically trying to analyze data, presenting it, analyzing trends and all that. So, reports, insights, and all that. Um, Let me see. Okay, so these are the skills you gain in this section. Proficiency in SQL, Excel, Tableau, Power BI, requirements gathering and documents. So let me delve a little bit into, a business analyst. Like, excuse me, I'll just talk about what a business analyst, really, really does. So requirements gathering. Requirements gathering is basically saying that the customer tells you, oh, we have issues. Let's say, for instance, a customer that has an application and all of a sudden, maybe when there are 10 or 15 customers on the same app at the same time, it becomes like an issue and users, experience maybe like a downtime or something. So as a business analyst, your clients can say, oh, we've been having this issue. We noticed that we have more than 100 users on this app. We always, customers always have downtime. So, okay, what do we do? We need to increase the user scope and all that. So, as a business analyst, the first thing you need to do is to talk to stakeholders and users. Okay, so what are you experiencing? They tell you what they're experiencing. They tell you what they want, like the kind of improvement they want. So in all of this, we are not just writing on it. Well, at the initial start, you could be you writing, maybe taking notes, and the requirement gathering, mostly as a BA, we do it while we have meetings. We usually have meetings that we call um sorry, I'm trying to remember one of my meetings. It's I won't say requirement gathering, we call it sorry, that's that's meeting. Sorry, I can't remember right now, but I would maybe as time goes on. So every day or every other day, we have those meetings with stakeholders like the users, the POs. POs that is called product owners, and they tell us, okay, this is what we expect, this is what we're experiencing. What can you do for us? In those meetings, you're going to have all the stakeholders, which means the
You mean
users.
stand-up meetings? Stand-up
Not
calls?
stand up. Well, stand up is just what we do in the mornings to, where we had the issues we have. It's my brain is fried, I'm sorry. It's usually called it's not requirement. My laptop is downstairs, so I can't even take a look at it. I'll get to that shortly. So where at those meetings we have the POs, that the product owners, we have the users, and then we have the configuration teams. The configuration team is basically the developers and also the BA. I, as a BA, we sit in those meetings where the POs will tell us, okay, I'm the product owner, and this is what my clients. different times. So work in group sessions, ask questions and all that. So I'm going to talk about career progression, sorry. As a business analyst, when you're starting at entry level, you can move up to like a mid-level. So I know we have two things. We have business analysts, we have product analysts. I always tell people that product analysts will limit you a little bit because, it's like you're selling Coke and you're selling Fanta. So you're telling somebody that, I'm selling Fanta alone. Do you get? So I always advise that when you're starting, start as a BA, get your hands, get that skills, get the experience as a BA. Then you can pivot into being a product analyst. Then from there you can say, okay, I'm now like a project manager. So it's good that you have your, footing very well. And then I think from there you can become like a senior business analyst, lead BA or a product owner. This is for data analyst, your entry level. There are so many, some people will say data analyst, some people say reporting analyst, and all that is still the same, means the same thing. Then you can now move up to like a senior data analyst and a data scientist, and. So this is just, something that I got from Google. Basic salary for business and data analyst, entry level, that's about the same thing that is still happening in 2025. And but even as a entry level, if you are very skilled, and then when you're talking to interviewers, they know from what you're saying, from the terms and the terminologies you're using, they already know that you know what you're saying. So you could be like an entry level, and someone they can offer you as high as even 90,000 per annum or like 100K. So it depends on your level, your skill, your level of experience, and how you're skilled. So you don't have to go through, all this entry, mid-level, start from 60,000 to 95. You can even jump to 95,000 from the start, depending on what you know. The same thing for a data analyst. I think that's pretty much it. So if you have any questions, let's hear it. And another thing I want to say is you don't have to have any kind of background. Like you say, oh, my bachelor's is in economics. I did economics education, University of Ilorin. I never did anything IT. I don't know anything. If you tell me IT 10 years ago, I will tell you are very stupid. Who is going to be coding? I can't do all that. But now I can do all that. So you don't have to, there's no limitation to I need to have experience in IT or what. No. The main thing you need to have is your determination and your focus. What do I want? Because I've always told people I'm not going to, completely leave business. I was in banking for years, so that was my background, but I knew that I wanted to eventually move on to become maybe like a product um lead product owner or something more, or a project manager or something. So make sure that all you need to have is determination. Do I want this? Is this what I want? And I can tell you BAs make a lot of money. Like Timmy said, there are a lot of remote jobs. You can do 2, 3 jobs. I'm doing 2 jobs at the moment, and I'm able to pivot between a data analyst and, and a business analyst.
Outstanding. Outstanding. Thank you so much. This is
You're,
very practical.
you're
This is
welcome.
very
So
practical. I love the fact that the openness with which you share, and I'm sure many questions have been answered even just by this presentation.
I'm just
Uh,
looking at the chat right now.
okay,
So, is
yeah.
there anybody that has any
Do we have any
question?
question?
Let me go.
Okay, I think we have a question in the chat. Someone said, please, after the training, can we be helped with the site or schools where we can continue our training to further ourselves?
Can we be what?
Helped, helped, more like resources. Would they get access to
Yeah,
resources? Yeah.
definitely. I'm going to share. So, one thing I would say, one thing that helped me was that there's a noise somewhere. Somebody needs to be muted. Okay, so one thing I would say is that you have to be, like I used to tell one of my friends that keeps saying, oh, Buki, teach me how to be. I'm like, no, if you don't have the zeal, nobody will help you. So you have to, on your own, be resourceful. Like I Google a lot. I research a lot. I'm always online looking for stuff. So even if I still give you, oh, okay, you can go here and still be learning, you need to have that determination. And then one thing that helped me is Upwork. If anybody knows what Upwork is, I signed on, I created a profile, even if the gig is just $100. Sometimes it's as small as it can be, but it helps you. So that because the thing is, even as a data analyst, if you learn anything today after 8 weeks, if you don't put it to use, I tell you, in the next 2, 3 weeks, you might not even because it's you're writing a query. Do you understand? I can't, as you're saying me, I can't put all the queries in my head. Like if my manager tells me, oh, Buki, can you check this data? Like they said there's something wrong with this data. Sometimes I don't even remember the query I used last week, but I have a spreadsheet that I save on my desktop. Anytime my manager gives me anything, any research, I mean my data analyst job, like what I do is I create like a tab on each spread and I write the name, something task, all the queries that I used, to do that research, I just store it there so that if I have anything that is related to it, I can go back to it. So my point is you have to be doing like I won't say practice, but you have to keep, you can't just be, even if there is no formal job, like I said, Upwork is good. If you have all those tools, if you have SQL, if you have Power BI, you can just create go on. I would share some sites where you can do like some little projects and just so that you can keep your hands, busy and keep your brain working so that you don't forget whatever you have learned. I will do that, but at the same time, you need to be resourceful by yourself.
Sorry, I have a
All
question.
right. Thank you.
Those-
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, ma'am. Do we have someone else with another
Yeah,
question?
Prof, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Yes.
you.
Okay, okay, read the.
Okay, yeah. So someone is asking for upward link. You will get it during the training.
Yeah,
They've
I
already
will send
answered.
I have it.
that.
Please, I
So
have a
And
question.
okay, please go ahead with your question.
My question is, after 8 weeks, is it possible for someone to get a junior role?
So my answer is I cannot say yes. I don't own a company and I don't I don't want to discourage you, but yes and no. So you're not, when you're like, oh, once I'm done with 8 weeks, boom, I get a job. It doesn't work like, especially anybody that is in US right now will know that the job market is a little bit, you just have to. And that's why I said, even if after training, we start applying or help you with your application and your interviews and all that, you still need to make sure that you're doing something. That's why I mentioned that Upwork. And there's so many other, you know, I would research that where you can just do all those small projects and keep it going. So the idea is make sure that you're gaining the experience, and so that when the job comes and they're asking you a question, you're not blabbing and saying, oh, I don't know, or saying something that you're not supposed to say. So yes, it's possible to get a job like immediately after the training, but I don't hold any company. We would only help you to, get the skills, guide you when you're applying, probably sometimes provide guidance to when you have interviews, the kind of questions, how to, answer questions and how to, just things like that. But that's my answer. I don't know if I answered it correctly, Pastor, because, you don't want to like have, I don't want company. That's
Yeah.
just the.
Pastor Yemi, do you have anything to add to
Oh
that?
yeah, I think you are correct. Just like anybody that went to university, just for you as a lecturer.
We can't hear you again, sir.
I said someone went to university and you're asking your lecturer, like the school institute, would I get a job?
Mm-hmm.
In this training, we give you everything that you need. You understand? We give you everything.
Another thing I want to just be ready because I remember that when I graduated in December I got the first job I got was in February, but it wasn't even a BA role because I was looking for BA, but something came up. It was a credit analyst. I'd worked as a credit, I was in banking for years and I have experience as a, analyzing credit and all that. And I said, oh yeah, I can do it. I just did my resume and all that. And then when the interviewer was asking me questions, I was able to answer questions based on my prior experience as a banker who had done a lot of credits. So that was why, and it was the pay was not so good, but and at the end of the day, when the first BA job came, I was ready because while I was doing that, I was still doing training. I was still go on YouTube. I was still, watch videos and practice interviews and all that. And I kept applying. I can't tell you the number of applications. I can't even remember. I lost count. I applied a lot, but I didn't give up and I didn't let it discourage me. Sometimes you even get rejection. You would. I cried so many times. You share it like, this interview I did well, but all I will say is don't give up. Just keep pushing. Like keep pushing. I remember when I started, people told me, Buki, at your age, you are in your 30s, like late 30s, and you want to go on, you will fail. I said, I cannot fail. Is it not to read? We'll read now. We'll get the job. We'll get the things that we need to do. And as I'm telling you today, I am still pushing. I have exams that I'm still going to write in the next 2 months, certifications that, they are important to my career growth. So you just have to keep pushing. That's just all I will say.
All right, thank you very much.
Can you
Somebody
use
is
the
saying
microphone?
something I can't even hear.
There's a question.
Yeah, somebody saying, would the training be both BA and data analysis
Yeah.
simultaneously?
Yes. We are going to, yeah. Mhm.
Okay, great.
What about the
Someone is
company
happy.
that uses tools you're not familiar with? What happens then?
So let me give you my own life example. Where I work as a BA, the basic tool they use is called Archer, GRC. I have never done that before, but I told the hiring manager, okay, I have not used this tool before, but I'm willing to learn how to use. But before the interview, I went online. I went to do research, read up on that tools. Did a little bit of research in like 2, 3 days just to have a basic understanding. So by the time he's asking me, I said, "Oh, I have a basic understanding because I know I don't have this. I don't know how to use this tool." But I can learn. And I told him what I have learned in like a few days. I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. Guess what? Now I'm a pro, so that's just it. You can't know everything, that's the truth. But be willing to learn.
So this question is for Pastor, I think. Will this program be offered every year or periodically?
Yeah, period. No, at least this is the second batch. I think we can do one more batch this year. Yeah. Yeah. Is someone raising hand? I don't know. One should be me or something.
Bobby, I think the question has been answered.
Okay, Prof, over to you.
All right, thank you very much, Buki. Really
welcome.
appreciate